Hello everyone. Welcome to the Nalcon webinar series. My name is Harshit. I'm a part of Nalcon team. The Nalcon conference is a unique platform for security companies and evangelists to showcase their research and technology to the community. We have been running Nalcon Security Conference since 2010, where the information security is discussed in detail among the industry, government, and tech community. As we are going through this work from home environment, so in this environment, we keep continuing to share knowledge and connect with our global community by running lots of online events like webinars, workshops, training, resume clinics, and many others. In the coming time, we are going to have some exciting sessions on Azure Cloud, career guidance in cybersecurity, telecom network security, and many others. And we are also happy to let you know that we have also announced our Nalcon security training in online edition, which is scheduled from 23rd September to 26th September. You can check more details in the chat box. So now about today's session. Today we have with us Prasun Gupta, and he's going to share with us his thought on dangling packages leading to RC. Prasun is an application security engineer at Paytm by his profession. He is a bug bounty hunter also by his hobby and interest, and he is a DEFCON 91120 chapter lead as his contribution to the community. So on behalf of all of us, I welcome him to this session. And before we go ahead, a few instructions to the audience. Our today's talk duration is about 30 minutes. And after that, we will have a question answer session. So you all can ask your question in Zoom chat box. They will be answered by the speaker after the session. And also I request you to keep your mic mute during the session to avoid any kind of disturbance. So without any further delay, I request Prasun to take a charge of session. Prasun, over to you.
Yeah, thanks Harshit for the introduction. So let me share the screen. Yeah. So hello everyone. My name is Prasun Gupta, and I am working as an application security engineer at Paytm, and I love to automate things in security, like various recon automation, mobile application security automation, and I'm also a bug bounty hunter on various platforms, and my tutor is 0x Texter. So, as you know, this talk is about dangling packages that could lead to RC. So, as this is basically a dependency confusion attack, which is publicly shared by Alex Berson on his Medium article. And according to it, I have got some points on it. Which I want to present you, like how you can achieve this attack, what is the attack vector here, and how much is the impact for it. So first of all, to start with, I want to start with what are the packages basically. What do you know about packages? So basically, packages are any is any tool, is any wrapper, is any kind of library which is created by the developer of any organization to share within his department, to share with his colleagues, and to share with other public platform. So you can say it is a small code which could install into your system, and with the help of which you can perform various functions, like like there are tools, like there are directory search tool, there are FF tools, and there are some other tools which are installed with the Node.js or with the help of Python packages. They are installed with the help of them. So these library wrappers and tools are created by the developer to share internally within the organization, or they can be shared outside to the user also. So these are the packages, and based on the application framework on which it is creating, like if it is a Python or if it is a JavaScript, these packages are can be created with the help of Python library or a Node package. So how to install these packages? So so if it's a node package, if it's a node package which is shared by the developer in his GitHub, and then you can install it with the help of npm install under in the package name. And suppose it's a Python packages and it's a Python backend, which like then you have to install Python, and then you have to install pip into your system, and with the help of pip install the package name. So with the help of these commands, you can easily install these packages. So what is the attack vector here? So the attack vector here is basically, suppose there is an organization and some developers have created a small tool to share internally within their team only, and they don't want to, they have not claimed that package publicly, so that those packages should not be installed by the any public user, and they have created it internally to share within their organization so that other people can work on it. But in this case, there are many points, like if that package, if that library isn't being published to the standard library package manager. So by the standard library package manager, I want to say, like, they are for the Node.js, it is npmjs.com. For the Python packages, it is a Python packages side web standard manager, which for which, if you are creating, if any developer is creating some packages, then they should be published to the standard package library. And if they are not published to the standard package library, and then these packages can be easily claimed by the attacker. So I will be showing how those packages can be found, and how those packages can be claimed by the attacker. So these packages could be created by the attacker with the same name. If they are not claimed, they can be created with the same name, which is the original one, and with the higher version, so that they can be pushed to the official libraries. And suppose if some victim, if any employee install that internal package with the standard instruction like npm install the package name, then he would be installing that malicious injected script into his system, which could lead to remote code execution. So how an attacker can claim a dangling package? So the attacker can claim a dangling package just by he needs to find that package. He needs to find that package name that are not publicly published. He needs to find all those packages, and for finding those packages, he needs to go through each and every each and every GitHub or the other public repositories, and find the package.json file. And that package.json file, whatever the name is in the package.json, whatever the tool name is package.json, then he needs to find that package name, if it is available publicly or not in the standard package manager. And then he can just create an account on it, on package, on, suppose if it's a node package, then he can just create an account on npmjs.com, and hit up the terminal and log into his account, and then publish the package. So attacker gets to know that, suppose, if he has created the package by installing node.js, then he can create this package with the same name and push to the npm.js account. So that's for the overview. Suppose this is the attacker, and attacker has published that XYZ tool, whatever the tool name is. He has published this package. The XYZ tool is basically a package. So he has published the package, and that package got injected with the malicious code. He has already put some scripts inside that package.json file. And when this package got installed by the employee, as you can see here, if that package is installed by the employee, then the attacker will get the hit into his local server, whatever the server he is using. He will get the hit which contains the full host machine details. So how to find such packages in bug bounty program? So with regards to bug bounty program, there are many ways on how you can find those dangling packages which are not been claimed, and how you can escalate to RC. So the first method is with the help of by directory brute forcing for the subdomains, for the domains, or for the endpoints. You can directly brute force for the package.json file. Try to find the package.json file, and try to read that package.json if to for the private packages which are held by the organization in the package.json, and based on it, try to search for that package, try to search for that dangling package on standard library package manager, if it has been claimed or not. And with the help of this, you can explore all the libraries and all the dependencies in the package.json file. And if there's any other dependency which is also not claimed, then you can also publish it, and get it injected with them some script, and that could also lead to like it could also lead to a employee to get installed it into a system. The second method is GitHub docking. You can just go to github.com and search for the xyz.com, whatever is the company name, search for that xyz.com and the file name, the package.json. You will get a huge list of package.json file of various organizations repositories, and at package.json, try to find that name, the name which is written in the title, that will be the package name. Try to find if it has been claimed or not. The third one is using the nuclear template. So in the nuclear template, there is one template which is under the exposures and configurations folder, which is package.json.yaml. So you can just hit up your nuclei and put your subdomain or a domain and try to find, with the help of nuclear template, the package.json file. So these are the simple methods, automated methods by which you can find the package.json files of various organizations which are in bug bounty. Reading package.json file. So this is the basically this is the format of package.json file. So this is the name which is the XYZ tool. So this is the package name, and you have to find if this, suppose if the name is XYZ tool, you have to find in standard package manager, you have to find in npmjs.com or Python package manager if XYZ tool has been claimed or not. If it has not been claimed, then you can try to publish it from your site and then try to hit that package from your other machine if it is installing, or if it is or if you are getting the hit on from the server side, from the attacker's machine, if you're getting the hit for it. So this is the package name, this is the version, this is the description author, and here it is the index.js file. Like they have shown that the first file which needs to be executed, it is index.js files. And the scripts we have pre-built publishly, which is basically tells the machine to run npm run build after installing the package to install that tool. These are the dependencies, on which this package depends. Like there could be many dependencies. The dev dependency, here it is telling that the node version should be greater than 12.11.5, or the type script should be this version. So this is the basic format of package.json file. So how to claim that package, how to claim that packages? So as I have told you, you have to just find that package name. Suppose this is the package.json, you have to find this package name and just go to the standard package manager like npmjs.com, Python package manager, and try and find if that xyz tool is been claimed or not. And if it is not been claimed, then you have to just create an account on node.js packet manager or Python packet. Here I'm taking the example of node.js packet manager. You have to create an account on npmjs.com and hit up your terminal and then log into your npmjs account and create a folder with the same name as a name of the package, and edit the package.json file and just run it and push it to your account. And when it pushed successfully, you can just try to install that package with the help of npm install the package name from your other machine and check if you're getting the hit on your server. So how you can escalate to RC? So to escalating to the RC, it's a bit tricky process. But here I am showing you how you can get a basic hit, how you can just prove to the organization that you have installed their package into the employee's machine. How you can just prove it? So you can prove this by editing the package.json file. As I have told you previously, when you log into your npm.js account and create the package.json file, so in that package.json file you have to install a pre-install, you have to put a pre-install script under the script section. Here as I can show you, in the script section you have to put the pre-install script here, and in the pre-installed script you can just curl for the hit, you can just curl for the attacker server, whatever the server you are working on, whatever you have the server, like any third party server on which you can just get the hit. And you can also use pipedream.com, which is a third party service on which you can get the hit. You have to put this in script, and for the basic testing you can just do it. And in the case of remote code execution, if you want to escalate it more, then what you can do, you can just in the script section you have to provide the index.js file. Like in the pre-install script you have to show the index.js file, and in the index.js file you have to write, you have to put some code which basically grabs for the host name, the client IP, the current path, the machine details. So in the index.js file you can just put that code, which is a huge code, and with the help of which you can get the full details of the employee machine. And for the basic testing purpose, for to showing to the organization if they can be just satisfied with it, and you can just use pre-install and the curl your attacker your server, and then on the server side you can just try to get the hit if you're getting it or not. So how this exploit basically happened. So when the victim installs that package into his machine, and that package has been claimed by the attacker, and the attacker has put a in pre-install script which and pre-install script just what it does, it gets the hits when the victim installs the tool. And when the victim installs that package which has been claimed by the attacker, then the attacker gets a hit on his machine which contains the client, which contains the victim IP, the host name, the machine name, and the current path. So this exploit is basically, and moreover if on the contrary, if you want to escalate it more, then you have to edit the index.js file, and in the index.js file you have to put the full code which I have told you previously, like how you can show to the organization that this is a remote code execution. So this is the real proof of concept. This is I have redacted the details here because it has been under tried. My report is under tried. So this is the package which I have published onto my npm JS account, and it got published around a month ago. I have published it around a month ago, and I have got the 31 hits on it. Maybe they could be public hit or from the employee server or from the employee machine hit. That depends, and that only be been verified by the triagent only. So this is the proof for concept that I have published on package, and here it is showing that you have to install it with help of npm install and then the package name. And this is my terminal, and here I have shown that on installing I am the victim here. In this case I am the victim here, and when I install npm install the package name, it get installed successfully onto my machine. And on the other side, the attacker machine, when I just when I just listen for the hit on a port which I have put on which I have put on the pre-installed script, I got the hit which is test. I have put a echo for whenever a victim installs my package, then I will get the hit, I will get it echo back. So on the server side I got the hit here. When this is installed, I've got the hit on my server. So this is one of the thing which I have told you, that you can use third party, which is pipedream.com, and the pipedream you can get the hit which contains the victim's current file, current path, the client IP address, and the architecture of the machine which he is using. So if you want to just escalate it more, you can provide this proof of concept, you can provide this exploit to the organization, and you can provide this details that you are getting the hit from the other side. So what are the remediations for it? So the remediations are basically, if whatever the package is, whatever the name, whatever the library is, then it should be claimed by the developer of the organization. It should be claimed by the developer, and it should not be internally. And if it is internally, then the repository should be private. It should not be public if it is internal. And if you're going to make, if the developer is going to make it public, then it should be claimed on the standard package library manager. The second remediation could be like whatever the order of the whatever the order of the version is, like if the version which is published by the developer is 1.1.2.3, then they should be ordered with the help of some strings, like they should be ordered like most trusted or less trusted. And with the help of this, the attacker cannot publish the same version by 1.99 or higher version other than 1.2.3. So with the help of it, this is one of the mitigation which could help in mitigate this kind of attack. So as I have told you the about the Alex Berson has provided publicly the first this first published publicly about this attack on his Medium article. You can check out his Medium article, and he has provided the full theory on how you can achieve this attack and how you can what is the backend behind it. And the HackerOne report has also been published publicly by the Alex Berson. You can check out this also. Thanks everyone. I can check for the questions if there are any.
Yes, so thank you, Prasun, for this really amazing talk. I'm sure the attendees found some important knowledge input. So we got two questions in the chat box till the time. I have all. If you have any question, you can add it in chat box. They will be answered by Prasun. Prasun, we have one question from Satyam Kumar. I'll just read it for you. So he has asked, is there any dictionary that we can use for package names, most common or interesting one?
Yeah, you can create a word list. You can create some kind of like a package list on through which you can just first forward it and try to check if you're getting the JSON file packages file, and you can just check for that package in the public standard package manager. You can then create one and try to automate for it.
Okay. One more question from Shreyas Kohli. He's asking how we can understand that they are using public packages, not private packages.
If it is if you are able to access it, if you are able to open that packages through the GitHub or through the in suppose there is a Python, so there is a GitHub repository, and you are able to see, then it's a public package. And if it's a private package, then you will not be able to check that it's a private package. And if it's a public package, then you can try to find if it is available to claim on standard package manager or not.
Okay. One question from Tushar. He is asking, can you please ping me the link of Medium?
Yeah, sure. I will
Article.
give the link of the article and HackerOne also.
One question from Chandra K. He is asking how to enumerate packages.
You can just use directory search and use some tool which just brute force for package.json file. They are tool which is created by Tom Nom Nom. You can just find the tool. I'm forgetting that name of the tool, with the help of which you can just directly brute force for package.json file only, and you have to provide a list of domain and a subdomain, and against the package.json file it will try to enumerate for the valid one.
So next question was from Ravi Tej, and he was asking the same thing you just mentioned. He was asking, are there any open source tool to find them? But you just mentioned, I guess.
So with the help of Nuclei template, you can just find package.json file and open source tool to find such packages. They are not direct. You have to manually go through each package.json file, and try to check the name of it, try to check the dependencies if they have been claimed or not on public manager. You have to manually go through some process, but on one side you can just use a Nuclei and try to create some template based on it, and you can just try the Nuclei version if you are not open for manually.
Abhishek has a question. If I found the package, then straightforward, I just claim it with the higher version, and how to identify public or private package?
No, if it is if you fund a package and then you can claim it with a higher version only if it is not been pushed publicly. You can't claim if it is been already pushed by the developer. Whatever the version is, you can't push it with the higher version because it will check. There are some limitations on it. It will check if the version has been specified or not, and it will check for the version that you are publishing, and it would give you 403 error if it has been published already, and you can then publish it. You have to find that those packages which are not being published.
Okay. Thanks, Arun. Arun has posted the link of Medium. One question from Arun: will there be any other name possible given by developer, else only the packages.json file?
No, these are only in the under package.json file, which are the basic standard file name which is being created by the developer.
Okay. And one question from Shreyas, that after hosting that packages, how many times it will take to get pinged?
No, after hosting net packages, if you want to verify it from your end, that if it is working, if your attack is working or not, you can just try it from another machine and try to install that package. You will get the ping at the same time. But if on the organization side, if they are asking that you have not get the hit from the employee machine, then you have to wait for it. It could take one month or 2 months. My reports are also under the triage mode for because I my package didn't get the hit from the employee machine, so that thing could take time. But if you want to show that your package is dangling package and you have claimed it, then you can show by installing it from other machine and check that ping.
Okay. So we got two similar questions. Sogat was asking, can we get any POCs or like case studies to refer? And the same kind of question by
That you
Arjun.
can
Please share.
find on hack. There are many HackerOne reports. You can just find dependency confusion attack HackerOne reports. You will get a few which are opened by the Alex Burson. You can just go through it.
Okay. Chandra K has a question. Is this commonly verified in pen test now by organizations?
Yeah, these things are also under the pen test cases because these are the developers packages which could be which could turn into an exploit. So whether that the company has a bug bounty program or not, but these are now pen tested by various organizations.
Okay. Next was asking how frequent you get this nowadays. Just asked, yeah.
No, no not much. Because it take time to verify those packages if they are public or not, and then claim it and then get the hit from the employee machine. So I have just reported a few last month, and not much. It needs some manual work also. It is not fully automated.
Okay. Abhishek has a question. He is asking, suppose a company is using 0.0.1 and there is already a public version 0.10.1. In that case, what to do?
If a company is using 0.0.1 and the public version, no, if that public version is published by the developer, then it's legit case. But suppose if that public version is created by some other user, then you can't publish it. You can't push it.
Okay. So we don't have any more question. Okay, we just got one. Shreyas is asking, can we enumerate that packages by using link finder?
Link finder, yeah, you can try. There are many tools. Link finder you can try for, but link finder gives you many many JS links, but you can try for it. But link finder gives the endpoints which are the JavaScript files links. I don't think that it would work. You can just use F for directory search or any or the Tom Nom Nom Mac tool to enumerate against package.json.
He has added that providing regex.
Providing regex, I don't think so. I haven't tried about it by link finder. I can't give a solution right now for this.
Okay. Yeah, these all questions we have. Hey, hi. If anyone has a question, please add it here. We will wait for a minute. Can you repeat that tool by
It's MEG, MEG, MEG.
SMAC? Okay. Great. Okay, look like we don't have any more questions, but we are getting lots of thank you messages. So we can say that's really great talk. So thank you, Prasun, once again for this really amazing talk session. And thank you all for your participation in today's webinar session. Our next webinar we will have on migrate securely from on-prem to Azure cloud. It is by Aditya Vasekar. Will happen on 23rd of July. So I hope to see you all again there. And till then, be safe. Take care, you all. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Harshit, and thanks to
Thank
Nalcon
you,
team for
Prasun.
giving the opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you.